It's now time for Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, live on the Woodward Sports Network. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m. Starring Ryan Ermanni, Michigan great and former NFL baller Braylon Edwards, and of course, Tom Mazawey. Let's talk some sports.
Let's do that. Let's talk some sports. That's right. It is Friday, November 18th, 2022. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Or should I say Maz with Ermanni and Edwards.
There you go. You got it right that
time. Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com, and, of course, fox2detroit.com and the Fox 2 app if you are watching live. Thanks to everybody who are joining us on those platforms. Braylon Edwards, good Friday morning to you. Or Friday afternoon to you.
There you go. That's the other job.
I don't know. Yeah, that's the other
It's the other place. It's the
Looking
other place.
good today, my friend.
Appreciate that, man. You know, it's wintertime. Picked up a couple pieces. This is when I truly shine. I like the coats. I like plaid season. Shout out to my man Flannel Sam over there. But I love this time of year, man. I love boots. I love that. I'm not really a big summertime guy. Neither am I a springtime guy. And you also know it's Friday, so this is when I get dude up, man.
Be nice easy, smooth, that's man. Right. Mr.
Yes,
Smooth himself, Braylon Edwards, not as smooth, but every bit as cool as the great Tom Mazawey. How you doing, man?
I got to smooth this up.
I'm me, man. I'm me. I'm good. I'm happy.
I'm me.
I'm here. I'm
Famous
alive. I'm kicking. I'm good, brother.
You good?
Packers suck.
Can I just gloat for a minute?
If you had the under 11 for your Packers for the year, you can go cash your ticket. Congratulations. How about that, huh? Packers, they just crapped the bed last night against the Tennessee Titans. The Titans are a lot better than people think they are, and the Packers obviously are not what I thought they would be. They stink, and Aaron Rodgers is having a horrible year. Just horrible.
This is typically around the time the Titans they come into fruition. This is around the time that Derrick Henry gets going. You know, when you start to look at November, December, that's when Derrick Henry starts to train and nobody can seem to catch him. But it wasn't Derrick Henry that killed them last night. It was Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill's been a guy that's been up and you're trying to wonder out what is he going to do for you on the primetime games, in the playoffs. Been trying to figure this out now for the better part of 3 years. And last night had himself a game, 333 yards, 3 touchdowns. So you just never know what you're going to get with the Titans. But I will tell you this, based on the last couple years, don't bet against them in November or December.
It's a great point, Braylon. There's two ways I want to go with this one. If I could, just as we quickly just jump out here out of the gates and talking about it. I don't mean to gloat, but there are every now and again you say something where people look at you like you're freaking crazy.
Aiden Hutchinson to the Heisman last year?
Aiden Hutchinson to the Heisman last year. It happened. And then all off season, I was telling you, as soon as Davante Adams left Green Bay, people, I don't think for the most part, truly understood how important this player was to Aaron Rodgers, to the camaraderie of the team. There are some players that go beyond the X's and O's. I think he's one of them. And all off season, I was telling you, 7-win football team. And what that translates to is a 7-10 Green Bay Packers team. And I'm almost there, man. I am almost there. They are 4-7 with 6 games to go. If you look at, maybe they're 3-3 and they finish with 7-10. But I mean, I'm close to that 10-loss football team.
Yeah, what you call is actually happening right before our eyes. I mean, you said that Aaron Rodgers is no longer going to be Aaron Rodgers as we know him without Davante Adams. And frankly put, that's what's happening. Are we saying that Aaron Rodgers is not still a great quarterback? No, that's not what we're saying. But we're saying now you're seeing some cheeks in his armor. Now he's missing throws in consistent games. Not even back-to-back games. You're talking same game. He's missing throws that are easy first downs, easy touchdowns, chances for his team and the Green Bay Packers to come up in games. He's just missing those throws. And you look at them as a whole, how they're constructed. Defense hasn't played worth a damn all year. Last week they tricked us against the Dallas Cowboys, but once again, that's against a Dak Prescott that we're still trying to figure out. Is he an elite quarterback worthy of his contract? You hit the nail on the head. You said this team will struggle, and not only have they struggled not having Davante Adams and Aaron Rodgers not having a blanket and some injuries, they also struggle because that defense, Ryan Ermanni, that defense is supposed to be a lot better than they are, and they stink.
They are just not hitting on any cylinders here. Rodgers is he's mad at the world. He's mad at his coach. He should just be mad at himself. All right, he got to look at himself in the mirror and know what he did to this team. He ate up all the cap on his own. You know what? He ruined a good thing, because I still think they had a pretty good window to win here. I think now it's time to give Jordan Love a chance to see what he can do, because they're not making the playoffs. Why not give your future quarterback a chance to get some reps? At least let other teams see him. If you don't want him, then you can maybe deal him.
Now, when you owe Aaron Rodgers $1 billion, I don't agree with you, Maz, that you should play Jordan Love. I don't agree with that. But I do agree with everything you said before that. Look, one of the biggest things Aaron Rodgers had a chance to do is reassess this season and maybe get some momentum going and maybe pull himself from the fire. You know where he missed Ryan Ermanni? You know where he missed Tom Mazawey? After that Detroit Lions loss, that was a chance for him at the podium to simply say these words. You know what? The season hasn't gone like I thought it was going to go. And you know what? I want to start with myself, take a look at the mirror and see what are the things that I can do better to get this team going and get this team back on track, because there's a lot of season left, and maybe there's a way that we can get back on track. But the first thing that came out of his mouth is not to that team. The first thing that came in his mouth is not to that team. You shouldn't lose to that team, or it's the Detroit Lions, or we gave them this, or we put them. Bro, it doesn't matter what happened in that game. You were not yourself. You didn't have your best game. You missed 2 touchdowns. That's on you. If he would have came from it from that standpoint, let me look in the mirror first, like Michael Jackson said, I'm starting with the man in the mirror, then maybe that would have carried over to this game. Because I know everybody's like, well, they won the following game against the Cowboys, but he didn't fully look at himself in the mirror, and that little doubt that he had, which he didn't address, that came out this game, 2 games later after the Detroit Lions game. Didn't look himself in the mirror fully, and here you are against the Tennessee Titans. This season's over for Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Jones stunk. The running game that's supposed to be so damn good just never got off the ground this year. That offensive line hasn't been the same. He found Christian Watson. He's getting some reps now, and the kid is starting to play good. You know, he didn't get a lot of yards last night, scored 2 touchdowns, got a couple of late passes to make his stats go up a little bit, but they got a lot to look in the mirror, man. But they're finished.
You know, when I make these outlandish statements, which actually turn out to be true, I do use a little bit of reason as to how I get to that conclusion. Like last year when I said Aiden Hutchinson to the Heisman. I fully expected Michigan to beat Ohio State and make it to the Big Ten championship and win it. And because they did, I'm thinking to myself, who's the best player on this team? Yeah. They'll take the best player off of Michigan and put him in the Heisman Trophy competition. In the race, he finished second. When I looked at the Green Bay Packers this year, I didn't just say 10 losses because I wanted some clicks. I looked at Davante Adams, and he was the only player on that team that could be seen as an equal to Aaron Rodgers, who can put Aaron Rodgers in check a little bit. I don't know this to be true because I've never been a teammate of Aaron Rodgers, but Aaron Rodgers looks to me like the prototypical, if you could look up bad teammate in the dictionary, you'd find Aaron Rodgers' face. So you take away Davante Adams, not only what he can do on the field, but what he can do in the locker room. And you just let Aaron Rodgers go completely unchecked. His coach can't check him. No teammate can put him in check. Yeah. And you have just a free-for-all out there. I don't think that's good when it comes to team sports, and that's one of the reasons I think Green Bay's falling apart. I think a lot of this has to do with Aaron Rodgers, and it's coming to fruition.
You don't have a player that can check him that's an equal, like you said, like a Devontae Smith, like a Zadarius Smith, or Devontae Adams, or Zadarius Smith, somebody that you can talk to, somebody that knows, hey, I can say something to Aaron, or Aaron can listen to me, or I can pull Aaron back. You don't have an owner. And this is something that I've brought up repeatedly. You don't have an owner like a Robert Kraft, like a Jerry Jones. You guys have an ownership by the whole state of Wisconsin, mind you, that have minority shares.
You got to answer to the guy down the block.
Exactly. You got the guy down the block has to call the guy down the block, has to call the veterinarian, he has to call the plumber, the fire department. Like one of those things, like that's somebody that can hold him at account. That's somebody that can hold him at bay and say, yo, we're not running like this. That's somebody that has power over him. You look at the head coach. The head coach is here the same age. The head coach in here the same age. He's already shown you on multiple occasions that he doesn't necessarily have to say or do, or doesn't do or have to abide by what Matt LaFleur say. And then you look at the front office. He's been taking shot at the front office for the last 3 years. Nobody there can hold him at bay. Aaron Rodgers is a guy that does whatever he wants in Green Bay, and now you're starting to see it not work in Green Bay because everybody's like, where the hell is the accountability on this guy when he's the one messing up?
Last game of the season, Lions home for Green Bay.
He can get you to 7.
There's another win, maybe.
There you go.
He's
Pardon me, I'm sorry.
By the way, I found you your horn.
Oh, yeah, I saw that, actually.
That? Okay.
I saw that. Give me a quick thought on the Titans. They've won 7 of 8. They're clearly going to win that division, the AFC South. Ryan Tannehill is not a player that comes to mind when I think of winning quarterback, but that's all they've been doing. Now he doesn't win the big one, but the first in the AFC, going to win the division again. To win 7 of 8 in this league is a pretty good accomplishment. And look, that team is set up prototypically. You've got the best running game in the league, and you've got a great defense, or a really good defense, I should say. But Ryan Tannehill is a guy that makes plays and gets it done when he needs to.
You said give you a thought. Like, I don't even need that long to give you a thought. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what the Tennessee Titans are doing because we know what they're going to do in the playoffs. They're going to get in the playoffs and they're going to lose. They're either going to lose in the first round, they're going to lose in the second round, or they're going to lose in the third round. That's when they were actually really good. They made it to the AFC Championship game. They won't make it to the AFC Championship game this year. They probably won't make it to the second round of the playoffs. They're a team that finds a way. They find ways to get wins in the regular season. That is exactly who they are. But when you get into the playoff, Mike Vrabel doesn't trust to run long enough and doesn't give Derrick Henry a chance to actually get off, and then they trust Ryan Tannehill just a little bit too much because he doesn't trust himself. That's exactly what you're going to see in the playoffs.
That's hard to argue. It's hard to argue. And as you were talking about that, though, it makes me think of, and it makes me, I don't want to say worried. Worried is not the right word, but I feel like the Tennessee Titans and the Minnesota Vikings are neck and neck when it comes to that stuff. Two franchises do a lot of winning in the regular season. Now, this year looks a little bit different in Minnesota, but we'll see. But when it comes down to the postseason, they just don't get it done.
Yeah, 100%. But I would give Minnesota and Kirk Cousins a little bit more love. I mean, you look at what Kirk Cousins does. He's consistent. Mm-hmm. When you look at Tennessee and what happens with them, like from time to time, sometimes Ryan Tannehill doesn't show up, and then you have Derrick Henry go for 240. Sometimes they don't give the ball to Derrick Henry, and you have a random game like last night where Ryan Tannehill will get you 333 yards. And you're like, where the hell did Ryan Tannehill find 333 yards passing? So the difference is with Minnesota, though, Minnesota's a better team. They're constructed better. They play more consistent in terms of from start of the season to the end of the season. And I think you've got to start believing in Kirk Cousins. I think Kirk Cousins slowly but surely is getting outside of the realm of where he used to be. You're trying to figure out, can Kirk Cousins be the guy? Is he the guy? I don't trust him when the lights come on. When you play Buffalo in the regular season and both of you guys are trying to be number one in your conference, that's about as big as the game gets, and they actually won. I know you can say it was a last-ditch effort. It doesn't matter. A win is a win in the NFL, and they were there at the end to get it done. Kirk Cousins in Minnesota need to start getting a little bit more love, but I see why you would say that, and it is agreeable.
The Titans are a wide receiver really away from really competing.
Oh, didn't they
heavily.
have a guy named A.J. Brown?
They did.
Yeah.
They did. They let him go. Treylon Burks hasn't been the answer so far, and we'll see what they do in free agency.
We'll see. I mean, the season's not over yet, but we'll see. I just don't see where they get close to a win in an AFC playoff, Tennessee. But hey, it looks like they're going to make it. It looks like they're going to make it, and it looks like they're going to lose again.
Maybe not. They grind it out, man.
I don't know. We'll see.
They grind it.
We'll see. Hey, guys, we've been keeping an eye on this Buffalo Bills situation, so we'll get you an update on what's happening Sunday at 1 next. Also, the Bills might not even be able to travel here, by the way, and that's really the update. We'll get it to you next, but first a message from Moneyball.
Check out Moneyball Sportswear. It is your one-stop shop here in Southfield. Des Ferguson has done a great job. UOD Titans, he's one of our own. So we got to support him. MoneyballSportswear.com. That's where you go to find the new Urban Threads. I'm talking about fire. The hoodies are amazing. The T-shirt, the material is so comfortable. That's what I more so like about it. And also, Black Friday, that's right, a week from today, I will be at Moneyball from 11 to 12, kicking it with Dez and kicking it with Moneyball, and just hanging out, signing autographs, taking pictures, just to get you into the community and show you what Moneyball is really doing. MoneyballSportswear.com.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1, what's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
What's a winter wonderland if you can't shop, eat, and play? Lucky for you, you can do it all at the Downtown Detroit Markets, Cadillac Lodge, and the new winter version of the Monroe Street Midway, all located just across the street from Campus Martius Park. Find the fun at deckedoutdetroit.com.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Swiss Insurance Group and their employees are heavily involved in their community. It is very rewarding, but it comes with great responsibility. If you sit on a local youth sports board, homeowners association, or you volunteer as in the community service, directors and officers insurance is a must. Make sure the kids, the parents, and volunteers are protected. The best way to do that is join my man Mark, Swiss Insurance Group.
Everybody that works over the stadium, like you just talked about the coaches, like this just became very hard on them. I mean, this is difficult. You know, we got at this holiday show, all this, they've set up, they got to break it down, get ready for this game, then get ready for our game on Thursday. So that's, I mean, you know, they didn't intend on that, spending their whole weekend and really the next week leading into Thanksgiving dealing with all this. So they got a lot on their plate, man. So sometimes that gets lost in the shuffle. You forget about all them over there putting in the work.
That was Lions head coach Dan Campbell talking about all the workers at Ford Field who had a carnival at Ford Field. I would like to know about this carnival, by the way. I mean, I would have gone.
And they Ringling Brothers.
Oh, my gosh. So it was a tweet from Tony Grassi that really got it going. The indoor carnival at Ford Field on Friday must dismantle for Browns-Bills on Sunday. Now, the latest on the tickets, I just went to Ticketmaster. I really don't know how they're going to do the tickets, but it looks like there's a pre-sale happening right now. Ticketmaster.com. Tickets are now on sale. You have to get into a queue, and they'll provide information. I think they're giving a lot of people in Buffalo the opportunity to perhaps get tickets.
Sense.
Maybe some Lions season ticket holders an opportunity, and then they'll go to the general public. I thought these tickets would be free. No. To be honest with you, I don't know a cost on them. I really don't. I feel like back in 2014, They were free.
That's because of it was a shorter turnaround back then. And the last time this happened was when the Metrodome roof collapsed.
Yeah.
And the Giants and Vikings had to come here on a Monday. They had to skip the Sunday game and come on a Monday, so that's why they gave tickets away.
But the Bills and Jets played on a Monday in 14 as well.
Yeah, that was a freebie game as well. I think that was moved from a Sunday to a Monday as well.
Unbelievable.
The interesting thing is
this might get moved to a Monday.
The interesting thing is, think about it like this. If this were, you're talking a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, you wouldn't be able to drive through the border. Remember, Canada just opened up their borders to allow individuals to travel in by day travel. So you can go over to Canada and you can come back if you have a card or whatever it is. Just imagine if this was 2 weeks ago.
Because you got to go through what? Niagara Falls? They opened Detroit and Buffalo.
Exactly. Yeah. So if this was 2 months ago, they wouldn't even be able to drive to Detroit.
A lot of people have been pulling this. They've been saying this is a very controversial move to move this game to Ford Field. They feel, well, I've heard different things. I've heard the league wants Buffalo to win, so they want to move it to this indoor event. And I've also heard that people have bet the under so hard in this game that they locked in the under already because of the snowstorm.
Oh, my gosh.
Now that they moved it to indoors, those tickets are going to probably be shot. Think about that. Because if you locked in the under, let's say it was 40.
You're right.
Yeah.
Guess what?
Right.
It ain't going to be 40 anymore.
No doubt. Wow, I didn't even consider that.
Yeah.
Also, Josina Anderson from CBS, she says, from a league source on the Bills, quote, "This is a major impact. There's currently a travel ban. Still waiting to hear on the timing of today's Zoom meeting. Snow is coming down so hard. I don't know what's the contingency if everyone can't make it out of the airport or they can't fly out, the Bills might not be able to get here.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe Monday this game might go to. Think about it.
There was a Tuesday game somewhere in there as well.
There was a
with COVID.
Wednesday game during COVID.
The COVID games.
Skins and Steelers.
Guys, let me bring in Bill Keenist, NFL game rep, longtime Lions employee, Lions team historian as well. Bill Keenist, do we have you? We do not have you. There he is. He is there. Bill Keenist. How you doing, my friend? All right, we don't have you. You're frozen.
Come on, Billy.
But one of the things that's now 5 in a row. I just wanted to point out. I'm going to keep doing this.
Keep the streak going.
Till we go. There we go. Let me see him now. Bill Keenist. Are you there? There he is, Billy. How you doing, my friend?
That's 6.
I can't hear you.
Unmute your mic, Bill.
Let's see.
It's looking like 6.
Come on now. Unmute.
I'm just gonna sit back and
just restart, Bill.
Yeah, we'll
hang up,
we'll
call
hang
back
up,
in.
call back, hang up and call back, Bill. So we'll do that. But there's so much that goes in. I will tell you guys. So I don't know if I can go to the interviews that don't work anymore. I think I might give up on all interviews.
On all interviews.
It's so funny. It's so
no give up.
I think I might give up.
No.
I might give up.
No, I'm not quitting. There's no quitting.
Yeah?
No.
All right. Very good. But again, there's so much that goes into this. I'm curious to see how it works out. I'm curious to see how many people actually show up. All right. Third time's a charm. Bill Keenist. Yes.
Hey, Chris.
Hey.
Oh, my.
We got you.
There it is.
Bill, how you doing, my friend?
Real good, guys. Great to be on with you.
I'm happy you're on. You're the first guy I thought of when I heard the news about this game coming here, because you've seen 2 previous games come here, 08 and 14. What is that decision that goes into that, Bill? I mean, from the league's end of it, from the Detroit Lions and Ford Field's aspect of it, this isn't just a hey, here's the keys kind of thing.
No, it's a massive decision on a lot of fronts. And actually, one thing I wanted to do when talking to you guys was point out what Dan Campbell just did. The job that the Ford Field staff is going to have to do is monumental. Todd Argus and his staff, who runs the stadium. I mean, the event Friday night that Tony Grossi from Cleveland tweeted out about is actually part of the Hubble Bobble charity event that happens every year the Friday before Thanksgiving. It's a fundraiser for the Parade Company, Tony Michaels and the Parade Company. And it's a massive event. It's a huge event. So normally, you have that event on Friday and then prepare for Thanksgiving, which is a different type of preparation as well. Because you've got, from a broadcasting standpoint, more cameras. You got the A crew. You got the parade on Thursday. You've got the fact that you got a live musical show at halftime. I mean, there's just so much more that goes into it. So they got to turn that around. And then you got the high school games next Friday and Saturday. So Todd Argus and his crew at Ford Field, if anyone is going to be the MVPs of this, sequence of events, it'll be him. But the league, the league has, daily, if not hourly, connections and awareness of weather throughout the entire NFL. We went through that whenever it was, a month or so ago with the hurricane in Florida. There were some contingencies put in place for that. But I think the real issue with Buffalo, and I heard what Matt said about the theories out there, but I think the real issue, imagine if this was Detroit and we were in that situation with an outdoor stadium like Buffalo, and you had this massive multi-feet snowstorm coming, and you directed all of your public services to focus on the game Sunday. So instead of taking care of the citizens who won't be able to get out of their driveways, let alone drive on the streets, You got to take care of that first. You know, a football game is very important to the economy, to the psyche of a community, but safety and the citizens have to take precedent over that. And once it was apparent that the snow was going to be perhaps historical in magnitude, the storm, it was a pretty easy decision to make.
Bill, what's going on? It's your buddy Braylon here. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure to talk to you. And you bring up a point that none of us thought about, taking care of the city before you actually take care of the teams. That's something we didn't think about. Here's the other side of this. You know, Josina Anderson of CBS Sports, she talks about the fact that they may not be able to get out today or tomorrow. What are the contingency plans? How fast could Detroit get this turned around, considering this game might happen on Monday and not Sunday, which means now you got 3 days until Thursday. Talk to me about that, Bill.
I believe I can speak from sort of experience. One of my closest friends in the NFL was with the Bills for years, and back in 2014, he told me that he had to be delivered to work on a snowmobile, and a lot of the coaches and players got to work to the facility that way. So that's probably going on right now, even though I heard the Bills didn't have practice. If it gets to that point, Braylon, I think there's a huge issue potentially. I don't think the league can move it to Monday night because the Bills are playing on Thursday.
Exactly.
A Sunday, Thursday turnaround is hard for the players, but to do Monday night, so I believe the league will do whatever it can. Maybe they'll get one of those Great Lakes freighters, and it'll be a renewal of the classic that you guys loved over the years because it's Cleveland and Buffalo, right?
Oh, there you go.
So who knows? But I know the league is already looking at contingencies for that, for the travel. That has to be done in an appropriate time frame. I remember back in 2007 where there was a big storm in Kansas City. And the Chiefs were playing at Ford Field late in the year, and they did not come in to Detroit until Sunday, until game day. So there's a lot of contingencies that are being discussed, but I have to believe that with the league and all the agencies that the teams work with, and even the Lions in this case, if there's any assistance that the Lions can give to getting Buffalo here safely, that'll happen.
Hey, Bill, at least they get to still play in Detroit. They're staying in Detroit. So maybe at worst that 3-day turnaround can happen. But side note, what do these teams do as far as the locker rooms at Ford Field? Do they get the Lions locker room? Do the Lions have to clear everything out, or are there other locker rooms that these teams go to?
Yeah, one of the teams will get the Lions locker room. Probably the home team, which in this case is Buffalo. And during the week, the locker rooms are pretty sparse because there's other events periodically that would happen in the locker room. I remember vividly the game in 2010. Now, there's two trivia questions from that game. And one of them is that was technically the very first Monday night game ever played at Ford Field. Okay? You guys know that?
Yeah.
The very first one. And then something else happened in that game historically, and I'll give you a minute to see if any of you know what. And actually, it's what didn't happen that made it historical. Do any of you know the answer to that?
I do not.
We're talking Jets-Bills, right?
No, we're talking Minnesota back in 2010 and the Giants.
So the Giants and the Vikings. Is that one?
The Minnesota and the Giants, correct?
Yeah. Let's see. The Vikings got there because the roof collapsed. At Minnesota.
Yeah.
What happened? I know I heard the Viking horn at Ford Field. I was at that.
There was that Viking painted at the 50.
Well, I'll tell you what it was, and it was ironic because the Buffalo Bills played a part in this. That was the first game in 297 regular season games that Brett Favre didn't start.
Well, there you go.
Hey, Bill, I gotta take a break. Can you sit tight for a second because I got a couple more for you? All right, thank you. I got a couple more for you. Got to take a break. Get right back with Bill Keenest. How many people do we expect at the game?
I'm going. If I can go, I'm going.
I'm in the queue right now. It says
you getting his tickets?
I'm on Ticketmaster. It says you are now in the queue. 2,000 plus people ahead of you.
There you go.
So we'll talk about this. But first, a message from SMA.
The sports marketing agency helps spread awareness about substance abuse and also mental illness. We are here to destigmatize it. That's why their podcast, This is the S Word, which talks about stigma, is very important. Sean Jordan and the NFL Alumni Association of Detroit do an amazing job providing you with content, conversations, just giving you information about mental health, about disorders, different type of disorders that you can have. Talking about it's okay to not be okay, but also giving you that information. Go to thesportsma.com if you or anyone you know may be suffering from things like this. Go to thesportsma.com. That's where you'll get the information that you need.
Thanksgiving is all about family and friends. That's why Woodward Sports wants to send you and your crew front row for the Thanksgiving Day football game.
Easy there. Hey, it's Thanksgiving. Shouldn't you be in Detroit losing a football game right now?
That's right, you and 3 people that you're thankful for sitting in row number 1. So close you can hear the action, smell the excitement, and taste the glory of Detroit football. All you have to do to enter is retweet or share our post on Twitter and IG and tag 3 of your friends or family. If all 3 of those people are following Woodward Sports too, and we pick your name, you and your crew will all get the best seats inside Ford Field. So hop on Twitter and Instagram and tag your crew. And we'll see you Thanksgiving Day at Ford Field. Brought to you by Lady Jane's and Custom Health Centers.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
When it comes to making your haircut truly an experience, there's no better place than Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Come to any one of our 26 Metro Detroit locations for an award-winning haircut experience and qualify for a chance to win a down payment for your dream home up to $200,000. Our precision haircut and talented stylists will have you looking good, feeling good, and give you a chance to change your life forever. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Get a free Woodward Sports t-shirt. That's right, a free Woodward Sports t-shirt all week long at Big Frog in Novi. That's right, free. Just stop in, tell them we sent you, and they will print you one on the spot. So go to Big Frog Novi today and get your free t-shirt, or visit them online at bigfrog.com/Novi.
Want to shout out these guys, Fletch, who's always there for us, and JB on the mend. He is always there for us too. Jeremy Bryan, our guy, usually in the sound booth. We got Sam Flannel today. We go back to the beginning with Flannel. We love you, Flannel. Want to shout out JB, who's at home resting right now. He's been under the weather, but he's still sending us stories and sending us notes. I mean,
JB's not resting. JB is on somebody's beach in the Caribbean.
Yeah, that's what he did.
Butt naked with a drink in his hand.
That was actually pretty funny when you said that in the
that's
text
what he's
chat.
doing right. JB, it's okay, man. Hey, everybody needs that break.
If you are watching on Fox2Detroit.com, thank you so much for doing so. On the Fox 2 Detroit app as well. We love that partnership where our show here from 2 to 4 is live on that platform. And, of course, always on WoodwardSports.com.
Hey, I'm just reading Fox 2, Detroit, Fox 2 here on their website that says, well, right now the pre-sale is starting for the Buffalo Bills season ticket holders. The general sale tickets will go on sale tomorrow.
Ooh, okay.
Tomorrow. That's what it is at Fox 2. That's your place, man.
There you go. That's our place.
Yeah, that's our place. So Fox 2 reporting that general tickets will go on sale tomorrow. So we'll see. Stay in the queue.
Yeah, so right now, I don't know if you can see this, but I'm on Ticketmaster.com. and you have to be in the queue, and it says you are now in the queue, 2,000 plus people ahead of you. So we'll see what happens.
Bills and Cleveland fans, I think they'll pack the stadium.
Well, that's one of the reasons
if they
why
can get here.
That's one of the reasons why I wanted to hold Bill Keenist over. Bill Keenist, longtime Lions employee, and of course Lions historian, NFL game rep for the National Football League. Bill is back with us. I don't have a finger on the pulse of how many people I expect in this building. Do you?
Well, I think what Maz said is correct. I think you're going to have a lot of Bills fans show up. They have a unique love affair with that football team, and it's not that far away. It's close. So there were probably a lot of fans in Buffalo that tried to get tickets for Thanksgiving that could not. So I think all of those fans are going to see this as an opportunity not only to get away from the snow in Buffalo and come to Detroit. And then, as far as the Browns go, why not? They're still, alive in the division race, if you will, not having the year that a lot of people expected. But I wouldn't be surprised if you have a really decent crowd. And I do think, as you were saying, Ryan, that you're thinking they've even going, I think with the reality of social media and access on our phones, I think there'll be more Lions fans there than might have been that would have otherwise stayed home and watched the game against the Giants. But now you can take that game with you into the stadium. So you're not going to miss anything or listen to Dan Miller's call of the game.
That's what I'm doing.
I think it'll be a job. I really do.
Yeah, but I think there'll be a lot of people here, too. If you think about it, you're talking about two teams, one that have players that people care about. You talk about Nick Chubb on that Cleveland side. And I played for the Cleveland Browns, and I made that trip a lot of times down 90 to 275 to 97. I mean, it's 75. That trip's not that far. You got a lot of Cleveland Browns fans from in all the state of Ohio, Indiana, Illinois that are connected, as well as Michigan. And then, like you said, you look at Buffalo. Buffalo's down the street if you go through Canada, et cetera. So there are ways to get here. And then the Lions fans, we have a huge fan base that loves football as well. I want to go back to the actual game itself and having an extra game. Talk about what exactly does that do for the city of Detroit, having that extra game in terms of concessions, in terms of money made for the city. How does that actually help?
No question, B. I'm glad you brought that up because imagine any business. Look at Detroit like a business of having 30,000 visitors, because that's probably what you would get between Buffalo and Cleveland. I think that's a pretty conservative and logical estimate. Yeah. Hotel rooms, restaurant, gas stations. That's a huge, huge win for the city of Detroit, and that's why field, knowing that obviously, and any of the entities involved, because you have to have the police presence, traffic, all those issues to go along with the game. But when you can bring 30,000 visitors to your town, I mean, a Lions home game is a big day, but most of those people are from the area. They're driving down and driving home. When you've got 30,000 plus visitors coming in, the revenue and the financial impact of that is huge.
Hey, Bill, I wanted to ask you this question, and I understand that the Lions Ford Field not going to get a Super Bowl out of the deal, right? There's all these magnificent multi-billion-dollar places that are popping up all over the place. They got a Super Bowl when they had a new building. But what kind of goodwill do the Lions get from the league when they say, hey, we'll help you out here, we'll host this venue? Is there any sort of goodwill that the organization can pull from the league on something like this?
They still have the Thanksgiving Day game.
Very true.
Well, I think there has to be some. Does it become a tiebreaker down the road? I mean, this is a bad example because Detroit already has the draft in a couple years.
True.
But the other reality is there's a financial benefit to not only the city, but there's got to be a financial benefit to the team. And every team has catastrophic insurance. The league has insurance. When these things happen, everybody's going to be made whole, and then some probably. So, to have a a game day with 40,000 people, that's a lot of hot that are going to be sold. Okay, and that I believe, I don't know for certain, but thinking back to the 2010 and 2014 games, that was a windfall for the stadium, for Ford Field.
True.
As Buffalo will be covered from an insurance standpoint for losing that game, and I think there are some benefits, believe me. And then just the reality of the NFL, the way the league is constructed, opponents on Sunday but partners the rest of the week, type of thing. It's something that everybody understands why you would do it.
Billy, I got last one for you. You know me, I'm Mr. NFL, Mr. Logo. Are they gonna be able to paint the Bills logo and do the same end zones? What does it take to do that and then get ready for Thanksgiving?
Well, Tom, the technology for the paint for field turf surfaces has dramatically improved since the first generation of those fields were put in. So I would not be a bit surprised if you have, the Bills logo in the end zone. Can it be done? Absolutely. The only issue is the turnaround time in this case. So you're going from an event on Friday that'll last probably till midnight, the Hobnoble Gobble.
Yep, easy.
To a game, it's Sunday at 1 o'clock. And like I said, the real heroes regarding this situation, the real hero is Todd Argus, who runs the facility, and all of his crew and staff. And then think about it. Braylon mentioned it. All the concession stand workers and the ushers and everybody. It's a monumental event, but it's the right thing to do. And I'm sure it'll come off flawlessly with respect to the turnaround.
Hey, Bill, last thing. I look over your left shoulder and I see a picture. Is that John Madden? Can you tell us the story behind that John Madden? Because he's going to be honored on Thanksgiving as well.
Well, it's actually John and Pat Summerall.
My heroes.
I got to be with over the years. And that was, and it was Thanksgiving week, Thanksgiving Day. And I was never big on getting my pictures with some of the people you work with, but those guys were special. And when they were at CBS and then with Fox, they would have a Thanksgiving dinner on Wednesday night that I was always invited to. And it was the production crew and the announcers and everybody. And it was wonderful. And they were.
Did you have turducken?
They had that too, Tom. But John and Pat were, every other year we knew we were going to have them for Thanksgiving, and they were the standard. They were the gold standard. When those guys came in to do the production meetings, players were lining up. Did they ask for me? Did they ask for me? Braylon knows that.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
And that's what that is.
I got to talk to him once.
That's awesome. Hey, Bill, thanks for doing this, man. Again, you're the first guy I thought of when I saw this game was moving here, because I knew that you would have all the answers for this. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family, and we can't wait to talk to you again down the road here.
Absolutely.
Yes, 100%. Mom and Dad always say hi, by the way.
Likewise to all three of you. Love you guys.
I love you, Bill.
Love you too.
Thanks, big guy. All right, so there you have it. Guys, by the way, I've been on Ticketmaster, on the Ticketmaster app now. Now there are 1,953 people ahead of me. I don't know what's going to happen at that point.
It's going to time out. You're going to get Taylor Swift.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm just seeing what the deal is.
Yeah, but the Ford Field seats 62,000.
Yeah, right. So now there's 1,038 people in front of me.
That's
what
I'm saying. Like, it'll be plenty of time. You'll be able to get a ticket if you truly want it.
Yeah, I might just buy them anyway, just to see, right? Well, if they're $20.
What time is the game?
Yeah, 1 o'clock.
It's a 1 o'clock game.
So we'll go see from there.
I'll be there.
All right, good time.
It's Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs.
Right, no kidding. Guys, we're going to take a break. Come right back. When we do, we'll get into some Lions talk. What do they have to do to beat the New York Giants? Also, it is a fill-in-the-blank Friday. We'll go around the NFL, and we'll get into some college football as well. Ooh, let's go, baby. Foley Warehouse.
Let's do it.
In Hamtramck, that's right. Get on down there. 2 ways to play. $12 unlimited open play or a private lane reservation. Run you $120 for 2 hours. 10 or 12 people can get on a lane. Any drink you want, multiple full bars and over 100 beers on that menu, and the $2 mystery beer machine. Get on down there. Bring your own food or even have it delivered. Plenty of room to spread out. Have a great time. Get your foal on at foalingwarehouse.com.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh, wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Kroger's, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You can get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
For a limited time only, all new burgers and loaded fries at Big Boy. It's not a Slim Jim, it's the Big Jim. The chili cheese is such a tease. Guess what else is new? The bacon blue. How about upgrading those fries? Chili cheese fries, baked potato fries, nacho fries. What will it be? Satisfy those taste buds at Big Boy.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Planet Fitness is the official studio sponsor of Woodward Sports. Also home of the judgment-free zone where you can work out for only $10 a month.
Only $10?
Only $10. Their upgrade to the Black Card for unlimited guest privileges, hydro massage, and more. Join in club today or go to planetfitness.com. Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
Essential.
Mics are off.
They know my mentality, know how I am. And they've been up for the challenge. And it's been shown. So, just like you said, man, it's outstanding to see those two dynamics really just marry up with each other. We're going to need it.
All right, guys. That was Aaron Glenn talking about defense and that D-line. The younger guys playing well. I do want to give you an update to my Ticketmaster situation here. I've been on Ticketmaster waiting in this queue. I waited for about 25 minutes before it finally got to be my turn. You need a Buffalo Bills pre-sale promo code.
Yes.
So I waited that whole time. But right now, in order to buy tickets, you need a Buffalo Bills pre-sale promo code.
Fox 2 had it on the head.
They were.
Which I'm assuming you already had to have a ticket to the pass game to have that pre-sale code.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Now, also, there's a screen that comes up. This pre-sale ends, starts Friday, ends Saturday 11/19 at 11:59. So does that mean general tickets don't go on sale till Sunday at midnight?
I don't think
Saturday?
so. I think they go tomorrow.
Yeah, probably tomorrow. But there are some prices that pop up here, like Upper Bowl tickets for $10. There are some.
It's like a Lions
there are some ticket prices that pop up, but
that's great because you can't get in for a Lions game for under $100.
No, exactly. So you're going to be able to get into this for a good price.
You can't get into a Lions game for under $100.
No, probably not.
What happened? You used to be able to buy one on game day for like $42, and
then the internet happened.
Good luck.
No, this is recently though.
I know.
Hey, there might be some Lion fans out there, season ticket holders that know a little bit more than I know, but I don't think you can.
We went.
I think standing room was even like $80, $90.
It's like 2017. I think we bought a ticket just to get in. Somebody had a birthday inside, and we got in and went up to the suite, but it was like $40. But
I am curious to see what happens with this because I mean, has Buffalo had their bye week at all?
Yes.
And the reason I ask is because when
it was 3 weeks ago, like it's like 3 weeks ago.
If legit Buffalo can't get out, if the Bills can't get out of Buffalo, what do you do? When do you play that game? Because you cannot play it on Monday.
Yeah, you're going to have to play it fast, and the reason why is because one is two AFC teams, two teams that could be in the playoffs. I mean, I know Cleveland's hopes are about this small, but they're still in it, and obviously for Josh Allen and what they're trying to get, they're trying to win the AFC. They really need this game. When are you going to play this game? Like, that's a good question because you got to play it sooner. You got to play it sooner than later, and you know, to make it up would be unfair if you play it at a certain time of the year. And what if, this is crazy. Just thinking about the possibility of things that can happen. What if Josh Allen, like they can't play it? Josh Allen gets hurt in another game, in the Lions game, and then he can't play this game. It's like so many things that could possibly happen that, they're going to be interesting. I just say it like that because I don't want to say what's fair or not, but if he plays, let's say this game doesn't happen, let's say this weekend. Then let's say in the Detroit Lions game, somehow Josh, he re-injures that UCL that he had the elbow on the throwing arm, and now he can't play. Now when they try to schedule the remake and he can't play in this, like, it's
wild, man. It is wild because, you can't play on a Monday and play on Thursday. I've never played in an NFL game, but I do sit next to somebody who did. Yeah. It's really hard to play 2 games in 3 days.
I think the most games I played in like a stretch of time or short stretch of time in the 2010 season, I think we played something like 3 games
in 12 days.
In like 12 days. We played 3 games in 12 days. 3 and 12. The Lions were actually one of those legs.
Sunday, Thursday, Sunday.
Exactly. Yeah. It was Thanksgiving against the. It was Thanksgiving. It was Lions. Say it again.
Sunday, Thursday. And then the following Sunday.
Exactly what it was. It was Lions, Bengals for Thanksgiving, and then we came back with somebody else. Yeah,
crazy, man. It is fascinating to consider. That is for sure.
And Bengals.
Also fascinating is this Detroit Lions team. They haven't won 3 in a row since 2017. Haven't won 4 in a row since 2016 when they won 5 in a row, by the way. They were 9-4.
Wow.
They were 9-4. The Lions in 2016 lost their last 3 games, cost them a division championship, and ultimately a home playoff game. But again, this is a situation where I do think the Lions have an opportunity to get one and pick one off against the Giants here. But in order to do that, they're going to have to stop the run, and they're going to have to make Daniel Jones beat you.
You're going to have to make Daniel Jones beat you, and the way you do that is you got to score early. The Lions have played in some games this year, most of them early on in the season, where they've scored points early in that first quarter, where they've gotten off to a opening drive touchdown or a second drive touchdown, and they've scored their second touchdown by 10 minutes left in the second quarter. You're going to have to score often and early. That way you keep them on their toes, and that way you make Daniel Jones have to make some throws that he's not used to making so far this season. You got to stop the run in Saquon Barkley. I know that's a lot to ask because he's run the ball, but you can corral him. You can corral him. Teams have had some success. The other thing you got to do, Ryan, and they've been doing that, you got to take care of the football. If you look at the last 3 games, they've been taking care of the football. I think they have 5 turnovers to 1. I want to say it's 5-to-1 ratio in the last 3 games. You got to keep that. You play disciplined football. That's how you give yourself a chance to win at the end. The reason why a lot of these last 2 games, the Detroit Lions have been in it, is because they're taking care of the football in the last 2 games. Take care of the football, Jared Goff. Take care of the football, wide receivers and running backs. You give yourself a chance at the end. The Lions can win this game. And then I got to listen to Ryan Ermanni on Monday talk about the Lions in the playoff. Because if you look at their schedule,
you know it's going to happen.
If you look at their schedule, it's like, the way this season has fallen, it's like it's not out of the realm of impossibilities. It's not.
And who is the one loss?
It should be, but it's not.
Who is the one loss? You look at the schedule at the start of the year, and you say, this is not only a loss, but this is a butt whooping, this is a double-digit loss.
Bills.
Does that look like that anymore, by the way?
Yes.
It still does.
Yes.
I disagree to a certain extent. Now, if you ask me who's a better team, it's the Buffalo.
Clearly.
It's clearly the Buffalo Bills. They're clearly a much better team. But the Detroit Lions are catching them in a weird time. Mm-hmm. You look at Josh Allen over the last 3 games, and I know Flannel Sam's in there rolling his eyes. You look at Josh Allen in the last 3 games. He's got 6 turnovers in the last 3 games. In the last, I guess you could say, last 4 quarters of play, or the last The last 3 fourth quarters is what I'm trying to get to. He's been abysmal. He has been abysmal. He's not gotten first downs. He's not extended the change. He's not found guys that are wide open. They have struggled. They can't run the football. They struggle running the football. You got this whole thing hanging over them right now. What are they going to do with the Buffalo Bills and the Cleveland Browns? How's that game going to play out? What's going on? They missed practice this week. They're catching that Bills team at a very, very weird time. And you know the Lions, they thrive in weird situations.
It's not who you play, it's when you play them. And actually, you know, I'm going to go against myself right now because, I mean, you look at the Tennessee Titans. If I told you last night that the Tennessee Titans had 4 starters out and that Green Bay would hold Derrick Henry to 28 carries and 87 yards, which is a measly 3 yards a carry, you tell me that Green Bay probably won the game.
Correct,
right?
100%.
But then again, Ryan Tannehill comes in and throws somehow for 333 yards in 14-degree weather in that cutting wind. I mean, some things don't make sense.
It is a weird, and I keep going back to this. I know people are tired of me making this comparison all week, but you know what? I'm not tired of making it, so I'm going to say it again. You look at 2 weeks ago, you look at the Tennessee Titans at Arrowhead, in a Sunday night football game where they had no business going to overtime with Malik Willis starting at quarterback. There was no reason for them to go to overtime against the Kansas City Chiefs, who most people have as the number 1 team in the NFL right now. I repeat, the Kansas City Chiefs, most people have them as the number 1 team in the NFL, and their quarterback is going to win the MVP, correct? Well, Malik Willis took them to overtime, and he had an abysmal game, and Derrick Henry didn't even touch the ball in the second half. It is a weird time in the NFL right now. That's why I say Detroit Lions, man, you just go into it like don't worry about anything but just beat them.
No doubt about it. All right, guys, more on the Lions. We'll do Fill in the Blank Friday coming up, hour number 2 of the program. Also coming up next, we're going to talk to Tom Van Haren, ESPN college football recruiting sports business reporter, co-author of Braylon's book.
Yes, sir.
So we're going to talk to him.
And hell of a golfer.
A hell of a golfer as well. We'll talk to him about all things Michigan, college football as well. What are the scenarios here for the college football playoff? What 4 are likely to get in? Do Michigan or Ohio State have a shot to get in with 1 loss? Whoever loses that game in Columbus next Saturday on the 26th. All that and more. But first, a message from Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac. Hey, thinking of a new Cadillac? Les Stanford will take care of your first payment. That is right. Your first payment is on Les. Plus, Les Stanford has $500 in cyber cash on all Chevys. All you got to do is tell them Woodward Sports sent you. You can go treat yourself at Les Stanford in Dearborn. Go to lesstanford.com. lesstanford.com. Let them know Woodward Sports sent you, and you can find new roads.
Find them.
At work and at home. We're there with smarter security solutions, featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that 1 Lions playoff win in 1991. Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
All right, folks, it's your favorite time of the day at Alta. That's right.
Uptime matters.
Alta Equipment has got everything you need to get the job done. If you have a big project coming up, give Alta Rental a try. They've got you covered. Give them a call today at 844-GO-TO-ALTA to 844-GO, the number 2, Alta.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 of the program. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey. We got Fletch. We got Flannel. JB will be back next week. Looking forward to that. Again, just an update for you. If you are looking for tickets for this Bills-Browns game that's going to be played at Ford Field on Sunday, there's a pre-sale going on right now for Buffalo Bills fans. I believe that lasts through midnight tonight. And then tickets will open up to the general public tomorrow. You know, when these games were played in Detroit, in 2008 and 2014, those tickets were free.
Correct.
Not so much this time. There will be a fee, whether it's $20, $10, whatever the case may be. If you've got the pre-sale, I mean, you can bet your bottom dollar that people are gobbling up these tickets right now, and they're going to put them up for $100, $200, whatever the case may be. So we'll see what happens with the resale market, but hopefully you'll be able to get some tickets for that game if you so choose.
Detroit fans aren't going to pay premium for this game.
No, you're not going to play premium.
We're going to pay way under what face value is, or we're not going.
Hopefully you can get a $20 ticket, $30 ticket to this game on Sunday.
You should be able to.
Absolutely. Guys, let's switch it up, talk a little college football right now with our good friend Tom Van Haren, Braylon's good friend as well, co-author of the book that they wrote together. Also, ESPN College Football reports on the games, recruiting, sports business. He does it all. Tom, how are you, my friend? You staying warm in the snow?
Yeah, I've shoveled my driveway twice already today, so I'm not thrilled with it. I don't like this period. I'm not ready for the cold.
No doubt about it.
Shout out my boy Tom rocking that Trap Golf, man. That's a good friend of mine, man. He was able to sell a lot of that merch at the Rocky Mortgage, so good to see you rocking some of that stuff. Some very comfortable stuff, too, by the way.
There you go. Hey, Tom, I'll get right into it here. Your colleague at ESPN, Paul Feinbaum, is putting Michigan and TCU on upset alert this week. Is there any chance Michigan is upset by Illinois?
I mean, there's always a chance. That's why they play. But I would not expect it. If you made me pick, I'd probably pick Michigan 9 out of 10 times in this game. And you know, Chase Brown for Illinois, the running back, he's been the big driver on offense for them. He was hurt last week. We still don't really know if he's fully healthy or not. And Michigan has the #1 rush defense so far this season. So you know, with a banged up Chase Brown. With the way that the past couple of games have gone for Illinois, I don't see that happening. I think Michigan probably does not look ahead to next week. I think they know the stakes are still high in this game. They can't lose this game. They know that. So I don't think Michigan's going to lose. And Braylon, you mentioned trap golf. This is probably a trap game, but I think Michigan's going to be prepared for that.
You know what? Don't worry about Paul Feinbaum. He's Mr. SEC. And actually, if you just say, hey, you know what, this could be a trap game for Michigan, TCU probably is going to lose to Baylor. But if you add Michigan in there and you get 1 out of 2, it doesn't make you look wrong. We know you hate Michigan. Paul Feinbaum, relax. Let me get down to the nitty-gritty. This is all people care about. How can Michigan lose to Ohio State and still find themselves somehow in the playoff? Tom Van Haren, go.
Braylon, I don't want to disappoint people, but I don't think that they can if they lose that game. Not because I believe they shouldn't be in there, but if you look at the rankings and the way that the committee has positioned everybody below Michigan right now, you mentioned TCU. If they lose, then maybe there's a shot. But with Tennessee sitting at #5, their lone loss is to Georgia, who's the #1 team. So if you go head-to-head and look at Michigan and Tennessee, both with 1 loss, Michigan has a loss to the #2 team. Tennessee has a loss to the #1 team. That's going to justify the committee to say we're going to put Tennessee ahead of them. And then you look at USC at #7. They have 1 loss. If they beat UCLA this weekend, if they go and win the Pac-12 championship, I think it's going to be very, very difficult. The way that the committee has the rankings set up right now, I think it's going to be very difficult for Michigan to make it in with 1 loss. Now, chaos could ensue. UCLA could beat USC. That would certainly help. Like you mentioned, if Baylor beats TCU, that certainly helps. Right. I think Tennessee is the main team, though, that really needs to lose for Michigan to have any kind of breathing room with a loss against Ohio State.
All right, I've got you. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, Tom, I said exactly what you said, but my good friend and co-host seems to think something different, so I'll let Ryan Ermanni conversate with you.
All right, let me just play this scenario out, talking about chaos. So I think, let's just say Michigan loses to Ohio State, okay? So you've got Georgia, Ohio State.
What score are they losing by?
38-35.
Okay, so it's a close game.
Close game.
Okay.
Georgia, Ohio State, and Tennessee in. Okay? What would you do if TCU loses to Baylor or Big 12 championship game? LSU loses to Georgia in the SEC championship game, and then USC loses to UCLA or Notre Dame. Those TCU, LSU, and USC, totally not out of the realm of possibility to lose a football game. So you would have, at that point, Michigan with 1 loss. Would you take a 2-loss Alabama team who's sitting at 8 right now and put them ahead of Michigan, and then you'd have 3 SEC champions or 3 SEC teams in? Or other scenario, would you put the winner of North Carolina Clemson,
there we go,
in above Michigan?
There we
because
go.
I don't see how a 2-loss Alabama team gets into where you have 3 SEC teams. Or, I mean, can North Carolina jump from 13 to 4?
But look what's going to happen by the time. Never mind. Go ahead. Go. You explain, Tom.
Well, that is a lot of chaos. First of all, that a lot has to happen for this scenario to play out. But in your scenario, I think what I would preface all of this with is we're not going off of what we would do. We have to go off of what these rankings say. And the committee has shown us in the past that they set themselves up with these rankings to, I guess, mix the teams up based on who wins and who loses. And I think if you look at the rankings right now, in your scenario, the first scenario, I think Michigan would probably be in because they'd be 1 loss to the number 2 ranked team overall. Alabama with 2 losses, and then Clemson, the way that they've played, the committee always looks at the eye test and what the games look like. I don't think you can have them jump ahead of Michigan. Now, North Carolina, if we're talking me and you, and we're saying, well, look at North Carolina wins the ACC championship, they're a conference champion. They only have 1 loss. They've got a potential Heisman candidate at quarterback. Sure, I can see that argument. But given that they're already number 13 and the committee is in the past has not ranked teams or has not moved teams up that high, I don't think that would happen because they're already sitting at number 13. I think the committee has already told you what they think of their schedule and what North Carolina has done. At 13 with only 1 loss, I mean, they're behind Penn State, Oregon, Utah, Alabama, LSU, all have 2 losses. They're behind all of those teams. So I don't see, given what we know right now, I don't see the committee moving them up that high. So all of that chaos ensuing, your scenario, I do think Michigan probably goes in at that point.
All right, let me flip it for you real quick because, again, I think Georgia's going to beat LSU in the SEC championship game. So I'm going to get LSU out of there. They're at 7. Now, could USC lose to Notre Dame or UCLA? Sure. Could TCU lose this week? Sure. If those 3 things happen, TCU, LSU, and USC lose, what about Ohio State? What if they lose that game? Are they almost for sure in, even though they lose at home to Michigan?
Yeah, I think they have a different path, a little bit of an easier path, because they're at number 2. And like I said, I always try to preface this stuff with this is not really my reasoning. We're trying to go off of the committee's reasoning because they're
which
at number
none of
2.
Us understand.
Right? Yeah, it's all different, right? We don't know year by year, week by week, but. Given that they're number 2 right now, if you lose to the number 3 ranked team, you've got 1 loss. And given that Ohio State is a big brand, I think that there could be an argument that's made for the committee to say, well, they only lost to a top 4 team, we're going to put them in. If all of what you just said happens and we see those losses, then I don't know how you move them down that far past those teams. Now, I think Tennessee is probably the main factor in all this. Like I said, they're at number 5. So what happens with them in the SEC, I think that's going to shape a lot of this conversation. And then USC in the Pac-12, those 2 teams especially, they're going to be the ones that kind of hold beyond the top 4. They're going to hold all of that in their hands, whether they win or they lose. That's going to determine a lot of who we see in the playoff.
Yeah, I agree with all that. At the end of the day, when you're trying to figure these things out, they all take care of themselves. So it's just fun to speculate in the moment and have conversation. The only thing with me in North Carolina and talking about them jumping from 13 to, say, 4, it won't be jumping from 13 to 4 if you really think about it, because they got 3 weeks. You have this week, you have next week, and then you have conference championship week. If you look at it right now, at the end of this week, SC plays SC plays UCLA, they could be out of it this week. When Clemson plays against UNC, they automatically will be out of it. LSU will be automatically out of it once they lose to Georgia. You look at Penn State, they will automatically be out of it because they didn't get to the conference championship game. You look at Utah. Utah plays SC this week, or they play. I can't think who Utah plays this week. But anyway, everything in front of it will take its place, and so slowly but surely, in 3 weeks, UNC is not worrying about going from 13 to 4. Each week they're going to go from 13 to 10. Next week they go from 13 to 7, and then finally after that third week they'll go from 7 to 4. So that's why I think UNC can sneak in based off everything happening in front of it. And it's not things that you're hoping happens for UNC. It's things that are just going to naturally happen in terms of the records and the people that play each other in front of them.
Yeah, and if they keep playing the way that they are, and Drake May keeps getting national attention, I think that's fully possible.
Yeah.
But we'll see what the committee does. Like you said, we just don't know.
Hey, Tommy, who do you like Michigan-Ohio State game? A week early.
Oh, man. Tom, you're setting me up for failure here.
Come on.
I'm at this point, I do think I would probably pick Ohio State just because I think Michigan's run game is going to have success, but I do think it's a valid point what people have been saying about Michigan's pass game. The past few games, I've been at the games. I think J.J. McCarthy is doing a good job, but we have our stats and info group has a Slack channel that they spit out live stats as everything's happening. And the last game, one of the stats that they showed was on J.J. McCarthy's incompletions, all but one of them was an overthrow.
Yeah.
So for me, there's something there with his accuracy that's happening that I think he needs to clean up before that game, because if there's a team that's going to exploit that or showcase it, it's going to be Ohio State. So I don't know, though, because we don't know what's going to happen with Ohio State's running backs. Travion Henderson and Mayan Williams, are they going to still be banged up? Are they injured? We don't know that. Jackson Smith and Jigba, is he out for the rest of the year? We don't know that. So I think there are some things that are going to make this game a little bit of a toss-up for me. At this point, though, if you made me pick, I'd probably go with Ohio State. I don't think it's unwinnable for Michigan. I do think it's going to be a close game.
Do you think JJ is being, undercoached? Are they coaching this kid up right? I mean, the two offensive assistants together, the two coordinators. Is this not working? What's wrong with this Michigan offense?
I mean, I don't know that I would say there's something wrong with it. I just think that this is really what a Jim Harbaugh offense is in the past. If you look at it, it's a run heavy offense. I don't think he minds that he's got all these stats. They're racking up all these rushing yards. I don't know that he minds that. I think for J.J. McCarthy, he's the type of quarterback that he can make plays with his feet, and he probably needs to get into a rhythm. And there was a reporter after the last game in the post-game press conference who asked Jim and said, "Hey, is it possible that your quarterback can't find that rhythm because you're not giving him enough chances?" And Jim actually said that was a valid point. Maybe that's the case. So I don't know that there's anything wrong with it. And I think Jim it's not coach speak when you ask him what he feels about this offense, and that he doesn't think there's anything wrong with it, because this is really what a Jim Harbaugh offense has looked like in the past. Braylon has been in a Jim Harbaugh offense before, and so he knows that. I think that's just what happens.
Yeah, 100%. Tom, this isn't the question. This is more so just backing for the Ohio State-Michigan game. The way I tell people, the way I look at it right now is like this. Everybody's talking about Ohio State is this, Ohio State is that. Michigan can't win this game against Ohio State. Michigan won this exact game against Ohio State last year. It was the exact same thing. They had 3 first-round wide receivers on their team. C.J. Stroud threw for 384, but when they got down the red zone, it got tight. They couldn't get, and they got to the quarterback. Same thing is going to happen this year. Cade McNamara had 162 yards passing last year. They didn't beat you with the pass. They beat you up with Hassan Haskins and Blake Corum. And I think the same thing is going to happen this year. Oh, by the way, they don't know what Jackson Smith and Jigba is going to do, like you said. And then Mayan Williams, Travion Henderson, both those guys are hurt. And Mayan Williams just got hurt. He's hurt bad. So I look at it like that. I think Michigan's won this game before. They've been here before. The stuff about JJ, it doesn't affect me until we play Georgia. Then there's an issue.
Yeah, and I don't disagree. I think that game is winnable for Michigan, especially like you said, what happened last year. Michigan's offensive line, I think it is just as good, and they have as much depth, maybe more depth than they had last season. And that was a big key in that game. If you guys remember, I think even the Ohio State coaches and the players were saying afterwards that Michigan beat them up front. Offensive line against Ohio State's defensive line, it was clear that Michigan won that game up front. And so, they could do that again 100%. I don't know what's going to happen in that game. I do think it's going to be close. So I don't disagree with what you said. How they beat them, I think it's going to be the same formula that we've seen in the past, and they've shown that can work.
Hey, Tom, I want to ask you a final question here. It's about the Big Ten as a whole. You've covered this conference for a number of years. I can't remember a time where it was as bad as it is now. It feels like, when there was 10 teams, it was the Big 2 and the Little 8. And now it feels like the Big 2 and the Little 12 or whatever. Penn State, I know, is number 11 in the country, but they don't look like a real like a team that can compete with anybody good in the country. Where does this conference go from here in the terms of the NIL? I mean, I know USC and UCLA are coming, and that's probably going to help. But what happens with like Indiana and Rutgers and Minnesota and Wisconsin? I mean, can these teams compete in the NIL world that we're living in now?
I think some of them can. I mean, you look at Rutgers and Indiana. I don't know that they're going to be in the conversation for those recruits where you're talking about NIL and how that impacts them. Do they need to be involved? Absolutely, because that's the driving conversation for recruits right now. It's NIL. It's the biggest conversation that comes up with coaches. So they need to be involved. But I don't think it's a problem for them, or they're going to lose out on recruits because of it. I think in the past we've seen the way that they recruit is the way that they recruit. And Tom Allen at Indiana, he's had success there before, but it's getting back to that mark and showing recruits that you can win. I mean, that's still a factor for prospects too. So for me, a school like Wisconsin, the way that they recruit and the prospect that they get, I think they can still win there. I think it's just figuring out what kind of offense they want and what is their identity on offense, because the Paul Chryst offense we saw, it just wasn't working anymore, and I think it was a little bit antiquated, maybe a little outdated, and they need something new. So a problem for Wisconsin, for me, really, if you watch the games, is quarterback, and they thought Graham Mertz out of high school was going to be the guy, and he hasn't been what they thought he was going to be. And if you don't have a quarterback, you're missing out on a lot. So if Jim Leonard remains the coach there, he is very, very highly regarded in that state. He's very highly regarded with those players. I think he can do just fine there. Some of the other teams, though, you're right. If they do away with divisions, we talk about that a lot. What happens to some of those teams if the divisions go away? Because look at the Big Ten West right now. The first place teams, I think I'd have to go back and double check this, but the first place teams in the Big Ten West would either be 4th or 5th in the Big Ten East right now.
They'd be fourth. Yeah. I'm looking at it right now, Tom. There's a 4-way tie in the West at 4 and 3. They would be that would be 4th best in the Big Ten East.
And the funny thing about it is,
think about it.
Go ahead, Tom.
I was just going to say real quick, Braylon, think about if they do away with divisions. If you just combine all of that into one conference, what does that do for the bottom half of the conference? Those teams that now in the Big Ten West, that first place team in the West gets to go to the Big Ten championship game, right? If you do away with divisions and you only send the top 2 teams, will the Big Ten West ever send a team to the Big Ten championship ever again? That's going to be a problem for them if they can't figure it out.
No, they will not. And to talk about what Jim Leonard's offense is going to be, it's going to be the same thing it was under his coach, Barry Alvarez. They're going to run the ball. You look at Ron Dane, Jonathan Taylor, Melvin Gordon, Monty Ball, Brian Calhoun, Amir Abdullah. The list goes on. All they do is run the ball. Can't name one wide receiver since Lee Evans. Just saying.
Hey, Tom, thanks for doing this, man. Really appreciate your time. We'll be watching on ESPN and checking you out on .com. On Twitter, @TomVH. Give him a follow.
Sir.
Tom, thanks so much. Trap Golf, too, by the way.
Thanks, Tommy.
Always good talking to you, Tom.
All right, good stuff.
Thanks, bud.
Guys, I'm over.
Quintez Cephas. There's a wide receiver from
there you go.
Wisconsin.
I'm over, so I got to take a break. Come right back. We'll get back into the NFL and also fill in the blank Friday. We got a lot to get to. We got our picks, too. My goodness. We better get going here. Hey, come to Lady Jane's. Doesn't my hair look good today?
Looks
Do you know
damn good,
why?
buddy.
I saw my girl Becca here at the headquarters, 15 in Woodward. Come to Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win a down payment for your dream home up to $200,000. Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week. It's wicked awesome. Wicked awesome.
Thanksgiving is all about family and friends. That's why Woodward Sports wants to send you and your crew front row for the Thanksgiving Day football game.
Easy there. Hey, it's Thanksgiving. Shouldn't you be in Detroit losing a football game right now?
That's right, you and 3 people that you're thankful for sitting in row number 1. So close you can hear the action, smell the excitement, and taste the glory of Detroit football. All you have to do to enter is retweet or share our post on Twitter and IG and tag 3 of your friends or family. If all 3 of those people are following Woodward Sports too, and we pick your name, you and your crew will all get the best seats inside Ford Field. So hop on Twitter and Instagram and tag your crew. And we'll see you Thanksgiving Day at Ford Field. Brought to you by Lady Jane's and Custom Health Centers.
Hi, I'm John from Better Rate Mortgage, and to me, family is more than blood. That's why I have the biggest family in Metro Detroit. If you're looking to buy a house or refinance and need a loan, come get treated better than family by me and our entire team here at Better Rate Mortgage. We pride ourselves on giving you better advice, better service, and a better loan experience. That's why we are Better Rate. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family. Actually, better with Better Rate Mortgage. Visit us at mybetterrate.com or call at 248-480-4467 today.
When you need apparel, there's only one place to go. Big Frog in Novi. With no setup fees, no artwork fees, no minimum, and a 24-hour turnaround, you can have your whole team outfitted in no time. Embroidery, direct-to-garment, vinyl, and screen printing, Big Frog has it all in all the styles you want. So whether it's a sports team, fundraiser, school event, or corporate needs, Big Frog is your one-stop destination. Visit bigfrog.com/Novi or call 844-4-BIG-FROG.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Downtown Detroit is all decked out this holiday season with the return of the Cadillac Lodge and the Monroe Street Midway. The Midway has a giant slide, winter bumper cars, and an indoor arcade. Plus, you can grab drinks at the Lodge before or after games. Shop, eat, and play downtown all winter long with DeckedOutDetroit.com.
Hey, guys, we got picks. We got Fill in the Blank Friday, and we also, Braylon Edwards, have to go around the NFL top man.
Yeah, let's go. Last night we did talk about the Thursday night game that basically buried the pack. Titans win it 27-17 on the ride home, unfortunately, for the Titans. Their offensive coordinator, Todd Downing, former Lion offensive assistant, was pulled over for and cited with the DUI. He posted bail this morning. So now the Titans have to go into damage control, and they got to kind of answer some questions. You guys drinking on the plane, blah, blah, blah. Bray, what happens on a plane ride home?
Yeah, usually you win or lose. Guys drink on plane rides home. Back to the cities you go to, some plane rides are longer than others, allowing you to get a chance to get a little more sauce. And then when you get back to the facility, you got to make those tough decisions. Obviously, I was a guy that had my manager lived at the house with me, or my uncle, who was like my estate planner, if you will. Hey, come pick me up. You know what I'm saying? We got a little while on the plane, so coach got a little while. And also after it too, it's guys like you don't necessarily just go home. Like guys might go to another friend's house or another player's house, or you might go to another coach's house and keep the party going. So you got to be careful. You got to be confident. You got to be careful. You got to take care of yourself. But I mean, it's a blowover. He's a coach. Things happen. As long as no one was injured in the process, slap him on the wrist and just get back to football.
Dude, you have lived one hell of a life, by the way.
Every time I say something, people think I'm lying. It's tremendous things going on.
Like, you're just Braylon to me.
Yeah.
But, like, when you think about whether it was playing at Michigan, being the all-time leader, going to the NFL, and playing in Cleveland and New York and San Francisco, and all these great. I mean, it's unbelievable. Living in Miami, working out in Miami. I mean, oh my God!
I just hope that Coach didn't have those muscle relaxers mixed with that alcohol. It's a terrible combination.
Not good. No bueno.
I've seen it.
Hey,
That's all I'll say.
We all know the Raiders are they're an S show this year. And
Can I talk about them?
Yeah, Josh McDaniels is under fire, but really he's not, because the word on the street is, well, Mark Davis said, "Oh, we love Josh McDaniels." Derek Carr says, "We love Josh McDaniels." Even Devontae Adams says he's doing a great job. But the real reason that they're not going to can him is because they owe
too much money,
a ton of money, and they're cash poor, believe it or not.
Well, they had to pay Gruden $100 million, didn't they?
Yeah.
The
Raiders
are on a payment plan with that.
Yeah, the Raiders got no money.
Let me say this about the Raiders, man. Let me talk about Josh McDaniels right now. Talked about Derek Carr, said a lot of blame is on him because Derek Carr, he hasn't made those plays in the fourth quarter, and he's done that typically throughout his career. So he's not made those plays to win games in the big moment. But just talk about Josh McDaniels for a second. Look at where that team was last year. They went through Henry Ruggs. They went through Damon Arnett. They went through what they went through with John Gruden. They went through all of that. They had to hire Rich Bisaccia, a special teams coach, first time ever been a head coach. And Rich Bisaccia was able to turn that. Oh, they had to go through Nassib. That also happened last year. They got through all Carl Nassib. Yep. They got through all of that and somehow still made turnaround and made it to the playoffs. They still had a chance to win that playoff game. To go from that, what Rich Bisaccia had them in position to do, to get to where they are now. And I know it's on everybody. Everybody has blame. Josh McDaniels has screwed that team up, I believe. I believe that. There's no way that Rich Bisaccia was able to get through all of that and have them in a position to win a big. Remember that energy that they had at the end of the season? You were a big fan of Rich Bisaccia.
And they all wanted him back.
They all wanted him. You hired Josh McDaniels, who's a guy that did his run, proved his time, came back. And then they're in this position. That's a lot on Josh McDaniels,
Guess
man.
what,
You
man?
can't even ignore that.
He's Matt Patricia to them.
Yeah.
He is. He has ruined them.
He was hired to take them to the next step.
He did.
Not rebuild.
Yeah. Horrible.
I agree 100%.
Crazy.
I mean, the silver and black not involved in anything good. To me, it's bad for the NFL. Let's move on. Look at this 2021. The quarterbacks that were drafted in 2021. Take a look at their records right now. Not really that great.
Well, again, look, and we talk about it this year, right? Because you're going to have upwards of 4, maybe 5 first-round picks at quarterback. Definitely 4, but maybe even 5 quarterbacks taken in the first round. And there is no guarantee. There is no guarantee. But you keep trying, because when Braylon did his power rankings yesterday, 4 of those 5 teams had a Hall of Fame MVP candidate at quarterback. So you can't quit trying.
This is true. And I mean, you look at the scenario, you look at the teams up there, you look at Mac Jones. Mac Jones was in a good situation last year. This year, not so much. Zach Wilson, terrible situation last year. This year, much better situation. Justin Fields. Seems like Getsy and those guys, Eberflus over there at the Bears, are figuring it out. Trevor Lawrence has shown a little bit at times this year. And then Trey Lance, I mean, he just hasn't played, hasn't been on the field. So it doesn't look like a lot of those situations are going to get better.
WoodwardSports.com chat. Eric Hammond says, "Get a bib, Ermanni. The Braylon slobber is all over your shirt." Hey, man, look. I'm slobbering over this life, this guy. I mean, are you kidding me?
Get in line, man.
Yeah, right. Get in line, buddy.
Get in line, man.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Hey, Nebraska might have themselves a new coaching candidate, and his name is none other than Matt Rule.
That's a great hire for the Big Ten.
Panthers.
That's a great
head
hire
coach.
if this happens.
What do you think? Mickey Joseph's there now. Players love him, but if you could upgrade, is that an upgrade?
I think it's an upgrade for Nebraska. I mean, he won at Baylor. You saw what he's able to do. Matt Rule is a guy that can get some wins. He's a guy that can motivate players and get them to play for him. I mean, at the end of the day, some people just don't work in the NFL. Some coaches, they don't understand how to condition guys to warm up to them in the NFL. You look at Nick Saban. Didn't work for him in Miami. He went back to Alabama. Look at his success since then. You look at certain coaches, sometimes you got to go back afterwards. I think this is a good move for Matt Rule, and I think it's a good move for Nebraska and the Big Ten. 10.
Yeah, man. I mean, if you look at Nebraska, I mean, they really don't
They can't
have,
get any worse.
Yeah, they don't have much going for them right now. And if you can get an NFL head coach that had a lot of success in college, I mean, that's a slam dunk.
Unless
for
you could
Nebraska.
talk Uncle Ur about a retirement.
But he's not going there.
That's
you
what
know what I mean. You're not getting a preeminent coach to go to Nebraska. You're just not. But
I bet you it would be a phenomenal job.
Absolutely.
You'd be the king. You'd be the king of Lincoln, man.
Guys, we're going to take a break. Come right back. What do we do? Fill in the blank Friday. But first, a message from Chili Peppers Tanning.
Yes, sir. And if you join the Chili Pepper Club, not only do you get the cleanest salons in the D, but they will beat any competitor on unlimited tanning by $5. It is a phenomenal place. Get on down there to your vitamin D headquarters. The hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, your darkest tans is chilipepperstanning.com.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
I'm Dr. Jason Olafson, DC, the founder of the Custom Health Centers, and we've helped thousands of people learn how easy it is to lose weight and keep it off with our customized weight loss and body contouring programs.
With Custom Health, you don't feel hungry, you eat well. My name is Simeon Timbuk, and I've lost 71 pounds on the program.
Call us at 844-789-THIN or visit CustomHealthCenters.com for a free consultation and get started for as little as $5 a day.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Time to talk about Centron. Centron has partnered up with the Detroit Red Wings to release their limited edition six-pack. That's right. Six-pack, cranberry, sugar-free, and classic are the original flavors, and they are in a six-pack. Go to CentronWorld.com/Red Wings. They have partnered up with the Tigers as well as the Pistons. They want to re-energize the communities. That's why they're bringing out this good Energizer drink. So they partnered up with WoodwardSports.com too, and we're here to say, drink it, live it, with Centron.
Absolutely. All right, gang. It is the time of the week. I think it's one of my favorite segments, actually, of the week. It is Fill in the Blank Friday. We're going to have some fun where basically if you want to know how to play, you just have to fill in the blank. That's
there you go.
Pretty simple.
Pretty simple.
All right, let's kick it off. We'll start with a little Michigan football. J.J. McCarthy, Ryan's guy, will throw for blank yards against Illinois and blank touchdowns.
180 and 2 touchdowns.
$180.
$180 and 2 touchdowns.
All right.
You're going to keep it on the ground. You're going to get Blake Corum going. Oh, sorry.
That was legitimately almost exactly to the T what I was going to say. I was going to say 178 and 2 touchdowns. It's going to be an ugly day. It's going to be ugly weather-wise, you know what I'm saying? So they'll pass the ball a little bit, and then they'll go straight to the run. So 178 and 2, I'm stick with that.
All right, part 2. Blake Corum will run for blank yards and blank touchdowns.
238 and 2.
Whoa.
Look, this is one of those situations. There are very few times in your program's history that you have a legitimate Heisman Trophy candidate. And I think when you do have an opportunity to win a Heisman, you have to go for it. I think, and I know this has turned into a quarterback competition, a quarterback award, but this is one time where I think a running back could win the award. And he's right there. He may be even leading right now to win the Heisman Trophy. C.J. Stroud perhaps, but Braylon, you have said next week's game is going to determine a Big Ten championship, a college football playoff, and a Heisman Trophy. I think you're right about that, and I just think they focus and feature Blake Corum, get him over 200 because he does need to have a little bit gaudier numbers this week.
Yeah, I think exactly what I said. The winner of that game is going to win the Big Ten championship as well as stay undefeated, as well as their guy going to New York is going to win. I think Blake Corum goes 215-3 this week. Nice. This would be Jim's third guy at the Heisman. He had Jabril Peppers at the Heisman last year. He had Hayden Hutchinson. It's time for him to get a winner. I think Blake 215, 3 touchdowns, and then when they beat Ohio State, he'll be hoisting it.
Well, we're rooting for him. Speaking of Michigan, Illinois, Michigan will blank Illinois blank to blank.
Me first this time?
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, that's fine. Michigan will beat Illinois. I'm going. It's an ugly outside. 38-10. I'm in the ballpark of 38-10 because they're a running team. They can't pass the ball. So 38-10.
That's a great score.
Yeah.
That's a great
It's
score.
It's that time of year.
Yeah. I'm going to go Michigan will beat Illinois. I'll go 34-3.
Okay.
34-3.
I'll go 27-10.
Okay. Ooh.
27-10. They won't cover by a half a point. Given a half point, I'm going to take Illinois and the 17.5. Let's go to the pro game and the Lions. The Enigma, DeAndre Swift, will rush for blank yards and blank touchdowns this weekend against the G-Men.
I just don't know how much he'll be available, so I'm going to go with the fact that he'll be more available than not. I'll say 71 yards and 0 touchdowns. I think if he does get a touchdown, it'll be through the air.
I'm going to say this is a Swift game. I'm going to say DeAndre Swift going to rush for 115 yards and a touchdown. The New York Giants allow the third most rushing yards in the league this year, only behind Chicago and Baltimore. I'm going to say this is a Swift game.
Only reason why I won't say Swift is going to punch it in or on the ground, I think if he does it, it'd be through the
pass.
It'd be pass is because when they get in the red zone, they don't hand them off the ball.
Right.
Who gets the ball down there? It's going to be Jamal.
You know
Williams.
what time it
so
is,
unless DeAndre Swift breaks a long one, I think that's why you're looking at DeAndre Swift to be around 78 yards, 0 touchdowns on the ground, but a touchdown receiving.
I'd love to see him unleash this weekend. Little by little, they're getting him back into the game. They're babying him. I don't know what the scoop is with this guy. I just hope they let him run because Saquon's going to be running. He's going to want to be doing the same thing. Let's go to the defensive side of the ball, and Aiden Hutchinson will have blank tackles and sacks against the Giants.
Aiden Hutchinson this game. You know what? I'm going to go 2 sacks. I'm going to go 2 sacks because I think early on, Detroit is going to do what they need to do. I think Detroit's going to score early in this game. I think Daniel Jones will have to pass a little bit in this game. And like you said, no one trusts Daniel Jones with the pass. They don't trust him to get the ball down the field. So I think Aiden can get 2 sacks in this game on Daniel Jones. And their offensive line isn't very good. They're not good against the pass rush. So 2 sacks, Aiden Hutchinson, book it.
Right tackle Evan Neal is doubtful. They've got another. Their left guard is questionable. They are beat up front. The Lions, Aaron Glenn, have been moving Aiden Hutchinson around. I think Hutch is feeling a lot more confident in this system right now. I'm also going to say 2 sacks, and I will say 8 tackles for Aiden Hutchinson. Daniel Jones holds on to the football. These receivers don't get any separation. They're doing this with Saquon Barkley. If they could somehow find a way to contain Saquon, they're going to have an opportunity with some sacks and some pressure.
Here's your chance because I've got the next question for Saquon Barkley. He will rush for how many yards on touchdown?
Buck 43 and 2 touchdowns.
Ooh, Braylon.
Buck 43 and 2 touchdowns.
All right, I am going to say that
he just can do it so many different ways. He can hit the home run. He can get the intermediate yards. He can be good on the goal line. It's just so many ways in which he can get yards and touchdowns. So that's why I went 143 and 2.
All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 4 games this year he's gone over 100. He's got games of 164, 146, 152, and 110. Everything else is under 100. I'm going to say they hold him to under 100.
It's not bad.
I'm going to say 80.
It's not bad.
I'm going to say 80.
80 at home?
I'm going to say 80 at home. Look, I do not buy the fact that the New York Giants are set, and a lot of this is just on theory.
Yeah.
Right? The New York Giants have won 7 of 8 one-score games. I don't think they're a 7-2 football team. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. In fact, that was my hot take alert yesterday. I think they're going to be in for a collapse, and it starts on Sunday.
You not buying in on the Giants, that's one thing, but you not believing in Saquon Barkley, that's another. You cannot believe in the Giants, but still believe in Saquon at the same time. I don't buy the Giants, but I buy Saquon.
He's a great player, but I think they're going to need to contain him and make Daniel Jones beat you.
Well, we'll see how it rolls, right? And lastly, I know all you fans out there, the CFL plays their Super Bowl this week.
What's Fish say about it?
It's the Grey Cup It's outdoors. I hope it snows. Blank will win the Grey Cup.
Tell me who's playing.
I wanted to see if you guys would know who they were.
Right.
It's the Argos of Toronto versus
the Toronto Argonauts.
The Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
I'm going with the Blue Bombers.
The Blue Bombers.
I'm going with the Blue Bombers.
I got to go with the Toronto Argonauts.
The Blue Bombers.
The Bombers won last year.
Well, and the Blue Bombers was
Chad Johnson?
No, what the hell was I going to do?
Remember, Rocket Ismail played for the Toronto Argonauts.
A couple of played for the Toronto Argonauts.
I was going to say Warren Moon.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, Warren Moon back in the day. Yeah, I'm going to take Winnipeg to repeat in the Grey Cup. I hope it's a great game. I never miss it, by the way. I watch it every year.
Shout out to Fish.
All right, shout out to Fish. Hey, guys.
Fish went last year.
Poutine.
No
That's
doubt.
when he got addicted to poutine.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is our pick segment. We are doing some serious winning. You'll want to win some money with us. We'll have it next. But first, a message from Guardian Alarm. They're your local security experts, have been for over 90 years. When you see this black and yellow sign out in front of your house, it tells the bad guys one thing.
Stay out.
Whether you are at home or on the road, they're 24/7 local monitoring. Make sure what is important to you stays safe. Call this number right here, 1-800-STAY-OUT. That number again, 1-800-STAY-OUT. Call them today. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
Go back to the ticket, man.
Thanksgiving is all about family and friends. That's why Woodward Sports wants to send you and your crew front row for the Thanksgiving Day football game.
Easy there. Hey, it's Thanksgiving. Shouldn't you be in Detroit losing a football game right now?
That's right, you and 3 people that you're thankful for sitting in row number 1. So close you can hear the action, smell the excitement, and taste the glory of Detroit football. All you have to do to enter is retweet or share our post on Twitter and IG and tag 3 of your friends or family. If all 3 of those people are following Woodward Sports too, and we pick your name, you and your crew will all get the best seats inside Ford Field. So hop on Twitter and Instagram and tag your crew. And we'll see you Thanksgiving Day at Ford Field. Brought to you by Lady Jane's and Custom Health Centers.
The Sports Marketing Agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zuniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
All right, November 22nd is coming up, gang, and it's 99-cent Big Boy Day with the purchase of a Pepsi. Of course you're going to get a Pepsi and a 99-cent Big Boy. Satisfy those taste buds at Big Boy, and if you go to visit BigBoy.com right now, visit BigBoy.com right now for more details and participating locations. November 22nd, 99-cent Big Boys.
So, these tickets for the Bills and Browns, great. $10 to $30.
There it is.
$10 to $30.
Nice job,
Has
NFL.
that enticed you to go?
No. I would go. There's just so much.
What happened to you?
Kids.
I got kids.
I know, but your kids are older.
I know, but I had kids.
I know, your kids are older.
Kids in college, someone.
You know
what happened to you? You hear me?
Kids are older.
His answer was.
And a 7-year-old and a 5-year-old that, weekends they just want to see dad. So I'm left with, what are you gonna do?
I would have brought him to the game with me.
Yeah, I could do that.
Yeah.
I didn't consider that.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, right.
It's just a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
I'm here with.
It's a lot of work. Thank you, Braylon.
It's a lot of moving parts on that. Keeping up with the loops.
I'm away enough, man. I'm away enough.
This crib sounds real good.
Right, no doubt. All right, it is the time of the day time of the week. We go with our pick segment. What are the records here?
I've been getting cheated, man.
Oh man, always cheated.
I get cheated.
I'm only a game back of Maz. Wow.
Yeah, I'm fading.
I am 1 game back. If you look at those, Braylon, you have had some really good weeks.
Then I had 2 duds.
Yeah. But
I had an O for 2 weeks ago.
if I was legit gambling, you'd feel good about 38-30.
Of course.
Your record wouldn't be the same.
No, it would not be the same. It would not be the same.
Different.
Yeah. All right, Maz, what do we got here?
Let's roll
go.
it. Let's start with our game here in Detroit. Actually, it's in New York. The Lions and the Giants from East Rutherford, New Jersey. G-Men, the old 3-point home favorite, Ryan.
You know where I'm going with it, guys. I think the Lions are winning this game. I really do. I think Braylon does too.
I am going with the Detroit Lions.
Look at that.
What?
I am going with the Detroit Lions, and it's great because I know now that I picked the Lions, I know the Giants are really going to win. Because I should have picked the Lions last week with my first get, and I didn't. Yeah, I'm going to stick with the Lions. I think there's no reason why they can't beat the Giants. They're coming off 2 wins in a row. That means a lot of momentum for them. Somehow they just get it done, and Daniel Jones does not scare me, and neither does the offensive line for the Giants.
All right, it's been 5 years since they've won 3 games in a row, so I'm staying with that. Give me the Giants to cover at home by 1 point. They'll win by 4 and cover that spread. Jets at the Patriots. Pats have won 13 straight against the New York Jets in Foxborough. Who knows what the weather's going to be like. That's a 3-point spread as well. Braylon, lead it off.
I'm taking the Pats, man. I love my Jets, but the Jets it's Zach Wilson. Like, Zach Wilson is it for me. You're playing at Gillette. That's a tough place to play. They know how to dial up Matthew Judon in those important moments. Give me the Pats.
Jets got to fall back to earth a little bit, too, at some point. I mean, they're a good football team, but they can't win the rest of their games. This is one of them they don't win. I like New England here.
Yeah.
Let's face it, both teams coming off the bye. I can't bet against Bill Belichick coming off the bye. So give me New England, unfortunately, to cover that spread barely. And you got the little asterisk next to the Bills and Browns game because that is coming.
Is it going to happen?
To Detroit. It's in Detroit. The Browns are getting 8 points. I'm not sure if that spread has moved
I have
in the
no
last
idea.
day.
We're going to go with 8, though.
We'll stick with 8. Browns in the Bills in Detroit. Ryan.
I'm going to go with the Browns. I just there's too many points for me in all of this uncertainty. All of this uncertainty going on. I just don't think you're going to get the best Bills effort here. Maybe I could be totally crazy. It's just my guess.
Or they could explode.
Yeah.
It's true.
Go with the Browns.
You know what? I wanted to say the Browns. I wanted to go with the Browns. I'm going to take the Bills. I think the Bills need this game. Regardless of when it's played, where it's played, the Bills need this game. This is one where Josh Allen has to show. He's the same Josh Allen that we talked about at great length early on in the season and off season. I think the Bills get back on track with this game.
Well, the Bills were my first team that I had circled when this week came up for my suicide pool, my survivor pool. I have since taken that off because I just don't trust this game. The Browns, let's face it, the Browns caught a big break here, right? Mm-hmm. Who wants to go to Rich Stadium and play in all that snow and 0-degree weather? They don't want to do that. I know they're an outdoor team and all, but they caught a big break. I got to take the Browns this week and the 8 to keep it close. But the Bills are going to be playing at Ford Field back-to-back games. But I'll take the Browns. Let's go to the Rams and the Saints. Someone has to win this game.
Oh, my God.
Both teams struggling. Saints are home. They're favored by 3. Braylon.
Saints at home. I mean, that's why I'm picking them. Cameron Jordan and Kamara. I mean, I think Alvin Kamara only has one game this year.
One touchdown.
I was just about to say that. One game he scored a touchdown in, but I'm going to go with – I can't go with the Rams. They stink. I'm going with the Saints.
Cooper Kupp out. Matthew Stafford questionable. I think they might just shut him down at some point this year, too. I think the Rams are done. Give me the Saints.
Yeah. The Saints stink. Give me the Rams. They'll win by accident. The Saints are that bad. Andy Dalton, come on, man. Cowboys at the Vikings. The Vikings get no respect. They're a home underdog. They're a 1.5 underdog, and they're 8-1. Cowboys coming off that loss at Green Bay. Ryan.
This is send a message game. I think Dallas is a dark horse in the NFC. I like the Cowboys, and really nothing to do against the Vikings. This is not anti-Vikings. This is, I think the Cowboys are sleeping giants right now, for lack of a better way to say it. I think they have good at just a shot of anybody coming out of the NFC. I like the Cowboys.
I'm taking the Vikings. Now, the Vikings are going to continue steamroll, and this is where they show you how good they really are. The Cowboys have struggled, especially since Dak's been back. Ever since Dak's been back, Dak has tried to find ways to win games and not operate the way that Cooper Kupp was operating to win those games, just running the ball and getting first downs. I think the Vikings beat the Cowboys.
Cowboys, man. Well, they're 1-1 against the NFC North.
It's
right?
not a 1 o'clock game either. Kirk Cousins great in a 1 o'clock game.
I know,
it's
but
a 4:25 game.
Yeah, this is a 4 o'clock game.
You guys are
man.
gonna start respecting Kirk Cousins, man. You saw him
1
on the,
o'clock
you
Kirk
saw him on the
Cousins, I
airplane,
respect.
man. You saw him on the airplane. This is a different Kirk Cousins, man.
Can the Cowboys? Yeah, I'll take the Vikings as well. Give me the
There you go.
Vikings
Good.
to win that game. I know
Glad.
you like to pick up a game on
Yep,
this.
that's
All
right.
right, Bengals at the Steelers. The Steelers are getting 3.5 at home.
Easy one for me. Easy. Division game, home dog, Steelers.
You know who came back last week? T.J. Watt. Give me the Steelers.
Bengals are wearing their all white. Give me the Bengals. Bengals to cover the Steelers.
TJ
And the
Watt
night
is
game,
back.
we get stuck watching the Chargers again. It was flexed into the Sunday night game. So you got the Chiefs at the Chargers. Chargers really don't have a home field. Spread here is 6.
Easy one for me. Division game, home dog. Give me the Chargers. It's just based on principle.
Understood. Give me Chiefs. I think the Chargers have been this close to collapsing all year. They have been this close to putting Band-Aids and straws and any other things they can find in the medicine cabinet to stitch their season together. This is where it all unravels.
Back-to-back games on Sunday Night Football. I'll still stick with the game is always close on Sunday night. Most of them are. I'll take the spread. Give me the Chargers at home.
Very good. All right, guys, we're going to take a break. Come right back. When we do, we'll get you caught up on the Red Wings and the Pistons. But first, a message from Custom Health Centers. Ladies and gentlemen, take one look at yours truly.
Look at that guy.
Look, who is this guy?
Look at that
Down
guy.
14 pounds in the last couple of weeks. Really, it's about 6 weeks. But we're having a lot of fun with this program. What is it? It's different for everybody, hence the word custom in the name. It is custom to what you need. Custom Health Centers has the plan that can help you drop 20 or 120 pounds. Takes the willpower out of weight loss. All you have to do is sit back, relax, and call that number 844-789-THIN. That number again, 844-789-THIN.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
God bless you. If you're looking to invest, buy, sell a home, check it out. Go to my man Michael Phillips over at Keller Williams Legacy in Dearborn. He does it the best because he's been in the game the longest. 23 years he's been in the game, so he'll make you your top priority. That's what you'll be to him. He will get it done, whatever you want to do, whether you are a player or a fan. Helping you buy, sell, or invest is his top priority. 313-403-0011. Game on.
Guys, a couple things. The Los Angeles Lakers tonight at 3-10 on the season host your Detroit Pistons in a battle of who's the worst team in the NBA. I gotta tell you, I am a little disappointed in the Detroit Pistons start.
Played well yesterday, though.
They did. They played well. Lost to the Clippers. There's no shame in that. 96-91. But they're 3-13 on the year. I mean, I just don't want to go another season where they win 5 games before the start of the year. I mean, at least they didn't lose by 20 last night, so that's good.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they didn't lose by 20, but Brian, you got to understand, like, it doesn't really start the NBA season until Christmas happens, especially when you're dealing with young talent. You're dealing with a guy in Jalen Duren that we weren't even expecting to play this year. We were expecting Marvin Bagley III to be the guy and him kind of fit his way and find his way, but he's found his footing a little faster than the team necessarily wanted. Jaden Ivey's the guy. He's got to find the chemistry with Cade Cunningham. Cade Cunningham has to realize, you know, when do I lead? When do I kick back? When do I kick it to Jaden? When do I dish over there to Boyan, who's been playing well? Boyan has been exactly who we wanted and thought he was going to be. but it takes a second to get some chemistry together. So let's hold off judgment until we get to December.
I understand. I didn't think they'd be the worst team in the NBA. And they are the worst team in the NBA right now.
Typically happens when you have a number 1 pick back-to-back
Yeah,
years.
no doubt. It's crazy, though. The worst team in the NBA by record and by point differential. There's no team that's been beaten by more points this year than the Pistons' 9.4 deficit when it comes to the point differential.
Hey, Flannel Sam, pop on your mic a minute and help me out. Pronounce the future number one.
I know, that's the one guy.
Pronounce the future number one's pick's name.
That's why I'm not freaking out.
Is it Victor Wembanyama?
Yeah. Wembanyama.
We're all going to know his name next year.
If they can get him,
yes,
then,
this is all worth
then
it.
throw a parade for your general manager.
This is all worth it.
Okay?
Yeah. That's why I'm not totally freaking out.
I mean, it's genius how they are doing this. Putting this young talent on this team, getting a veteran like Bohan, getting him here, putting this team together.
What did the Philadelphia
and still
76ers call that? It was the process, right?
You trust the process.
Yeah, trust the process.
When they kept having all the first-round picks,
Ben Simmons,
Okafor was on there,
and
Nerlens
Phillips,
Noel, Markelle Fultz was another guy.
You know?
Yeah, 100%. The only thing about it in terms of that is basketball, it's the lottery pick. Like, you just never know what's going to happen when those things inside the pot are moving around and when you got to grab.
Something tells me he's going to the Los Angeles Lakers, by the way.
Yeah, don't make me throw up. They play the Lakers tonight, by the way.
Yeah.
Not sure if LeBron will have load management or not tonight, by the way. Last night, in case you missed it, Michigan in Brooklyn, demolished by Bobby Hurley's Arizona State.
They went over there to they went
Sun
to
Devils basketball.
They went to Marcy Projects on that one.
I mean,
it was ugly. But you know what?
87-62.
If you pay attention, they struggle with guard play. If you watch the Eastern Michigan game, the guard plays, Farrakhan and Imani Bates were destroying them with guard play. We shooting, coming off the pick and roll, slashing, getting to the hole. They struggle with guards. That's the same thing you saw at Arizona State last night. Bobby Hurley had those guards. Shocking. Bobby Hurley had some guards ready to go. His son actually is on that team as well. Very, very interesting.
MSU Villanova tonight. I know it's early for college basketball, but there are some good matches. Tom Izzo, he doesn't back off from anything. We love you, Tom Izzo. And tomorrow, Oakland U and EMU. So Imani Bates at the Arena. So we'll see Neil Rule call himself a good game. Wings over the Sharks last night, 7-4. They head to Columbus next, and then they will be home Wednesday night against Nashville, the day before Thanksgiving.
Very excited about that. The Red Wings kind of playing some good hockey.
Bertuzzi's back.
Did you hear, by the way, what Jalen Rose said about the Udoka situation?
I did not.
I was surprised. And it's always one of those things.
Somebody about to get in trouble?
Well, no. What he was saying was, he's like, look, I'm going to tell you guys right now, there's more to this situation that you do not know.
Well, we knew that.
In a negative situation.
For Udoka?
For Udoka.
Yeah.
So
makes sense.
It was one of those where I was like, oh, darn it, because I kind of wanted him to come here.
Right.
You know, you don't want him to come here if there's this huge cloud over that. But
what is it?
I don't know. He just said, trust me, there is a lot more that you don't know about this, and it's not good.
Wow.
So I was kind of really surprised to hear that.
The biggest thing that I looked at, and I actually made comments about that, and we were talking about it when it first came out, is this. It's like, when somebody comes out like that and the organization says, we're going to suspend this coach a year, but we're not letting the coach go. We're going to keep him as punishment. We're going to punish this guy for doing something that was consensual. When you start looking at stuff like this and the franchise is trying to punish an individual, people only punish people when they have done something like extremely egregious.
Right.
Like when they've done something to the level of just disgusting or whatever, that's when people tend to punish people, whether it's mentally or physically. So the fact that they're trying to punish them like that, you know something is out of sorts.
I know. I feel like Rose was alluding to the fact that it was less consensual, perhaps, than you.
Because they keep over.
Yeah. So I was really, I almost, I'm regurgitating that information. I almost feel uncomfortable to talk about something like that where we don't know the facts. So I will say I back off on my Ime Udoka to the Pistons. Once I'll take Jalen Rose's word for it.
And once again,
we'll take Stackhouse instead.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and once again, your comments about it, they were based off the information that you had.
Yes,
so you know,
very good.
There's nothing along the level or you did something disrespectful. The information that you had. Those are some good answers.
Amen to that.
Good insight.
That's what we do around here. Maz, good week out of you. You going to the Bills game?
Hell yeah.
Good for you.
I'll be doing the pregame here. I'll leave a little early, and I'll scoot on down to Ford Field.
Very good. I think our pregame show next year should be earlier than 11 to 1. I will say that right now.
9 to 11?
Yeah, 9 to 11 or 10 to noon. I think that's just my take on it.
Sounds good. You should bring that to the meeting.
I'm going to bring that to
That's
the
good.
meeting next year.
Good.
I'm going to bring that to the meeting because the last half hour you don't even get to, really, because you're going to the game then.
Correct.
Right? So if you're watching it live, just my opinion. I'll bring that to the meeting. That's my idea. Braylon Edwards, baby, you get us out of here. You know what time it is.
Getting lost in my jacket, I couldn't figure it out.
Hey, the next time we talk to everybody, by the way, it'll be Michigan-Ohio State week.
This is true. This is true.
How about
Michigan,
that?
Ohio State is coming. Look, Michigan's not under any worry this week against Illinois. That would be a win. Hey, shout out to the Detroit Lions because I think they'll get their third in a row. So that's going to be the mantra. Let's lead with that. Let's say good luck, Detroit Lions, and we'll see what the hell happens with this Bills-Browns game at Ford Field at 1 o'clock on Sunday. For my man, Flannel Sam, who did an amazing job filling in this week, it's been good to see you again, buddy. Adam Morrissey hanging on over there. Uncle Maz on the couch. Fletch has been killing it as always. Glad you're here, buddy. Ryan Ermanni, finished the week strong.
My man.
We are Ermanni and Edwards with Maz.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.